welcome back. Okie dokie, folks, welcome back to another video. We're going to be doing the predictions as well as a quick review. Yeah, we'll hop straight into it. Villa, Forest, I went 1-1, ended 3-1. Probably a silly pick, really, but yeah, Villa got the job done. McGinn's special, and they're, I guess, somewhat still in the title race. So yeah, good on them. Not much to talk about here. Brighton were the favourites, and they got 2 goals, so I get it close there. Yeah, this game. Yeah, I got this one wrong. Someone just scored 3 goals, and it wasn't West Ham. That was probably the worst half of football I have ever seen from a Premier League team. I thought I was back in New Plymouth. Anyway, yeah, I mean, credit to Wolves. Obviously, we know they're not as bad as the table reflects. So we'll see if they can string a couple results, and maybe they're relegated for sure, but maybe just kind of compete against some of these shitters. I thought it was going to be. I did actually say like Bournemouth can make it a good game. Like, I do rate Bournemouth. They score goals. They just make it a very open game, and unfortunately, haven't been getting the results. But yeah, we put in a good performance, I'd say. Away from home, it's never easy, so got the job done. A Declan Rice special. So yeah, we'll be taking that. United versus Leeds, or Man United, and another draw and another manager sacked. Interesting. I mean, yeah, I had 2-1. Again, felt like they needed to win that. Leeds are still down the bottom. So, yeah, I mean, obviously he's not sacked because of the results, which is just strange because, like, they lost the Europa League final, no Champions League football. They were, like, 15th or whatever they were, maybe 16th. He's brought them back up to 6th. You know, they're doing nowhere near as bad as you would expect. The team on paper is pretty dog shit. You know, playing like a different 3-back every week, playing Dorgu in the 10 on the wing, playing Ugarte. Like, Shishko has just been a bit of a flop as well. So, I mean, like, this season at least, he hasn't done bad. So, obviously it's the comments, I'm just calling them out, but, like, it's just a bit strange in it. Like, they're not really helping themselves, and they're in a shit show internally when they're not even doing, like, that badly. You know what I mean? Like, it's so strange. 5th and 6th have now had their manager sacked. Could have another sacking, and I wouldn't be surprised as well. Nunes, but we'll get to that. Everton, Brentford. Yeah, I got Everton scoring 2 goals, so perfect. Like, obviously, Igor Thiago just decided to drop an absolute worldie. Hat-trick for him, and Brentford are up to 7th. I don't know when the form's going to end, but they're on a bit of a madness right now. Yeah, Fulham, Liverpool. I thought I got it perfect, but a Reed, like, long-range effort. It was a strange game. Like, I had a feeling Liverpool were going to get the winner. Obviously, just towards the end of the game, they were starting to pile a bit of pressure on finally. So it was just funny when Fulham scored, because obviously this is vintage Liverpool to score late. Obviously, we know from last season that was a thing that they love to do. But clearly they're not the same team. They are playing not very attractive football. I'll say that. Like it's below average, really. Well, not below average, but like for a top side, it's they're not. It's like it's an even game. It's an even match. It was probably deserving of a draw. To be honest. And honestly, it's like it's quite reflective of the table. Like it's pretty close. I feel like Bournemouth should be higher, so it's kind of like Bournemouth should be higher, Villa should be lower, and all of these teams, I think on any given day, anyone can get a result. These lot of dog. Leeds are starting to pick it up thanks to DCL. Anyway, we go to our perfect picks. 2-0 Newcastle. Wouldn't say that was an extreme pick. Like, score could have been 3-1, 2-1, 1-0. Could have gone anyway. Willock should have scored as well. But, yeah, they got the job done. No real surprises. Tottenham, Sunderland. Yeah, I just thought it was going to be low scoring. Either of them could have picked up a result, so 1-1, that probably just made the most sense. And then I went 2-2 here. It could have been 2-2 if Neto decided to, understand how the weak foot works, and Haaland scored that chance that went off the inside of the post. But, I mean, we got the result. And, I don't think it was a 2-2, you know what I mean? This is why I don't rate Super Bro. I get it close. Obviously, it was literally close, but it wasn't a 2-2 game. I just, I feel like Chelsea did well in the second half. Obviously, Adlaw spoke a little bit about it. They did well in the second half. City kind of controlled the game, but yeah, when you don't put chances away and you're going to go, do the classic 10 at the back move, that only works if you're Arsenal, really. So, yeah, I would say that was a fair reflection. A couple of perfects, a couple of wrongs, a couple of close, a couple of results. So not too bad. We can build on that. We can build on that for sure. Going into this game week, obviously, the game is in an hour now, so the lineups are out. This is actually ideal because obviously, if I knew that Paqueta was playing last game or wasn't playing, I probably wouldn't have had them to score 3 goals. I doubt he is. I'm not really sure about this situation. He is playing. And they've got their new Argentinian number 9 up front. Wow. Yeah, Potts on the bench. I thought he was dog shit. Magassa as well. They were horrible, bro. That was one of the worst. It would have been one of the worst if it finished 0-0, and it could have, because Wolves only had 3 shots. But there is nothing worse on this planet than boring football, and this game could be one of those games. But at the same time, I think we know that Nuno's job's on the line here, so I believe they get the job done. But it could go either way, really. I think it's a huge game for both teams. If Forest get a win here, it doesn't secure promotion, but of course that's fucking halfway through the season. But just being 7 points clear, that's gonna make a real difference. And especially because I thought West Ham were gonna start picking up some results, and that they had chances. They've had a couple of draws. Forest either show up or they just fuck off. Really. So yeah, that'll be interesting. But I'm gonna stick with the 2-1. I think West Ham need a result. If they win, it's probably by 1. So we'll leave it at that. Bournemouth, Tottenham. I've gone Bournemouth 2-1. I don't know. I just feel like Bournemouth a draw result. Um, Tottenham are a bit inconsistent, and they usually get a goal. So 2-1. Brentford Sunderland. This is an interesting game. 7th v 8th, I think. Both teams are on a decent form. Brentford are obviously on better form, with some decent wins. Sunderland undefeated in last 5, but quite a few draws. They're going to be wanting to get a win soon. But honestly, I feel like it's kind of scary to say Brentford aren't going to score at home. But I feel like a lot of people aren't going to think that, you know, Brentford aren't going to get a result. So I think it's a good game to go against the grain. Sunderland are a good enough team. And their defense is solid as a rock, and Xhaka will lead the lads. So fuck it, we'll see how that goes. Villa, Palace. I'm going 1-1 again. I think I've predicted the last. Yeah, I have. I predicted the last 2 Palace games perfectly. So we'll see if we can get 3 in a row because they're predictable. So not yeah. No. Well, at the moment they are just like average performance after average performance. No idea what the, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It's kind of like you don't really expect them to come out the gates and, drop a madness anymore. So, but I think obviously that they're a good enough side. Like naturally, they have a style, they have a brand. I think they can get a result. Why not? Why not? Everton Wolves, not much to say. Just 2-0. Slap it on there. I mean, Wolves could get a goal, so maybe 2-1, but they conceded 4 to Brentford. They can concede 1 to Wolves. Wolves will love a consolation goal. They're just all vibes at the moment. Yeah, we'll go 2-1 here as well. I mean, McFarlane's the man, isn't he? He's just the man. Well, actually, I don't know. I don't even know his name, bro. That guy that yes man from France, they just copped. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to be interested in watching this game because, yeah, a lot of these games are honestly quite interesting, quite tight. But you would expect Chelsea to win just with the quality they have, and Fulham are on a bit of a run. I knew they would pick it up eventually. They were getting pretty unlucky at the start of the season. I think earlier on they played, Chelsea won that. Some dodgy handball call, but I think they'll get the job done again. Basically a home game for Chelsea. Anyway, City, Brighton, yeah, I'll go 3-0. I don't rate Brighton. Obviously, it was mainly after watching them against us. I just thought they just lacked anything of anything. And I was expecting Welbeck to score that game just because shit house, but we escaped, and yeah, there's not much more to say. City have Haaland. He's blanked the last 3, so he'll get a goal or 2, maybe fucking hat-trick, who knows. Yeah, I'll go 2-1 United. Obviously, Burnley are not that good either. I wouldn't be surprised if United draw again 1-1. That streak of playing Wolves, Leeds and Burnley and getting 3 draws, that's just stinky. How are they even in the European run? But maybe Fernandes plays. yeah, 2-1. It's just they should be able to win that, even if they're in a dog shithouse state. Yeah, I don't know. Not much more to say. Newcastle Leeds. Leeds are on a crazy unbeaten streak. But I think Newcastle at home, they're just different breeds, and maybe apart from this one. But yeah, I think 2-0 again, wouldn't be surprised. Maybe Leeds score, but I wouldn't bank on it. You know, they know how to get a 0-0, 1-1, and Newcastle are physical merchants. They'll be playing rugby and fucking rugby tackle them off the field. This time I'm going back to back vintage Arsenal 2-0. An early goal, parked the bus, and then late goal. I don't know. I'd be disappointed with like earlier in the season when we played them and we lost. Like I was disappointed, but I wasn't like I was expecting us to be in the title race. So it was kind of like still pretty tight, pretty close. And then obviously they've fallen off since then. And then slightly they picked it up with some results, a couple of draws, which still they should be winning. But yeah, I'd be disappointed with all that we've done and to not comfortably win this. Liverpool obviously they want to show up. They love to show up in the big games. And what bigger game than Arsenal away to just shit on us, really. So I can't say again, like similarly to the Bournemouth game, I wouldn't be surprised if they make it a game. We've seen with Arsenal, we've been winning in a lot of different ways. You know, we had the shithouse 1-0 win against Everton, and then we go and spank Villa. So, you know, we can do it many different ways. So, but obviously it's just safe to go 2-0. I actually wanted to add just like a little FPL section because I haven't done this in a while. I've still been playing. There was a period where I was just dropping stinker after stinker. Where do I go? I don't know how to navigate this, but yeah, we'll have a look at the league. We've gone up. I was anyway. I was like somewhere around here. Managed to kind of bring it back. I had a really good last week. Had Theo and Rice who popped off. I've been at like 5 million for like the last 2 months, so to be at 1.6 is kind of ridiculous. So yeah, I'm gonna start sweating it out, get up to, I don't know, 200k in the world, and my life will be satisfied. But yeah, I just thought I'd show you my team. I'm gonna roll this week. Wait, what am I doing? This is this one. Okay, I'm gonna roll this week. A little bit risky to kind of like have Verts and Ikatike on the bench, but against Arsenal you don't expect them to score. And then selling them, I don't really like love the options. I'd rather just wait a week. I'm happy enough with the team. Maybe I could have made one sub to play instead of Mukiele or Miley, but yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I'm winning this league, mate. I don't give a fuck who you are. Alfie, Scott Manning, Jet, Bestie, I'm coming for you lot. Wait, I already captained Haaland. Okay, yeah. I was thinking about doing. I'm just sick of Haaland, bro. He makes the game dead and boring. Oh no, do you know what it was that fucked me? I was captaining Foden every week when Haaland was. Let's just have a look here. So what happened was, yeah. So I captained Foden this week. I captained Haaland this week. Captain Foden this week. I triple captained Haaland this week. So I got lucky with this one, the triple captain. But these, like, they just cooked. I was getting cooked with my captains. But I'm happy enough with my squad. And yeah, that's my FPL. Not much more to say. Good luck with your predictions. Good luck with supporting your team. Good luck with gambling. If I had any tips, if I gambled, which I don't, don't condone that sort of behavior at all. But if I did, all my money, I'd be putting on some crazy parlay. All right. No, I'm joking. I would, my best tip, my jelly tip would be Sunderland to get the job done. $4.20 odds. I'm liking it. That's money. That's bread. All right, check a tenner on that. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. All right. That's the end of the video. Raps. Time for me to go to bed. Fuck it, Al.